Well, hey y'all, about forgot y'all over there. All right, I am excited about what I am cooking. It is fall outside to me anyway, or at least it was this morning. I still got on my little hoodie thing where I went to work out, and I wanted to show you this soup I'm cooking. I've never cooked this soup before, and as my husband says, my soups are one of a kind because I'm always going to switch it up in the event that I don't have something that I'm planning to put in there. So here's what I got. Let me show you. All right, so this soup was a cauliflower ham soup, but I didn't have any cauliflower. So I had some cabbage, and I thought, well, you know, that's similar. Cauliflower and cabbage. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Patty. Where are y'all? Where are y'all watching from? Klosterman and O'Connell. Let's see. Let me know where you're watching from. Anyway, so I thought, well, I could chop up this cabbage. So here's what I did. You see it? I shredded it up in my Cuisinart. All right, so let me tell you how to do that. Do it on pulsed. If you do things on pulse, it bounces it up and down so it doesn't just shred it and squish it and make it all juicy. I didn't want that. I just wanted it shredded because I'm going to put it back in the soup. And what's in this pan is red onion. Hold on, let me think a minute. Red onion, green onion, garlic, and I have browned it in some butter. So you see it's really brown. And then I added 3 tablespoons of almond flour to make, I'm going to call it a roux. You know, that's kind of how you make a roux. So that is really browned and cooked. Now what I'm about to do is I'm adding some chicken bone broth, not chicken stock, but bone broth to that. So I'm going to add a whole box of this. Yeah, this is what we have at our grocery store. So I'm going to add that in there and stir it around and let that thicken up a little bit. You could use regular onion, I think. I don't know that you would have to use red onion. I just had a half of a red onion in the fridge that was already cut, and then I had some green onions. So let me turn this back down. Now, I'm going to have to put this all over in a pot, so hang on. Let me go get a pot. Let me show you one of my favorite things in my kitchen. This right here, this little thing where I can store all these big pots. Back there in the back are my cast iron skillets. In the top here is my Instapot. Behind that is even a bigger pot than this. Oops, about to drop everything. All right, let me close it up. And, okay, so I'm going to put this on the stove. And so guess what meat I'm using in this? Anybody know what meat? Hey, Lynn, you're watching me all the way from California. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to let this come to I'm going to simmer it up, all right? And then over in this pot, I'm going to add this cabbage that I have stir-fried in butter. Now, I let it get a little too hot, so what you're seeing is where it kind of browned, but I tasted it, and it did not have a scorched taste. I would not have put it in there had it had a scorch. You know how you'll scorch something? Well, I would not have added it to my soup because it would have ruined it. All right, I'm going to put the rest of this broth over here. All right. And then I'm going to add to this over here. So I'm just kind of letting this simmer a little bit. I'm going to add to this over here. I'm going to add some chili, red chili flakes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just a few shakes. All right. And then I'm going to take this. Well, let me stir this up a little bit. And I'm going to add my ham cubes. Now, I'm not going to say the easy way out, the quick way out, because it's not easy to have to pay for this stuff. You know, we had to work to get that. But I'm going to dump this cubed ham in there. All right, so that's about, let's see how many ounces that is. A pound. So it's a pound. So that would be 16 ounces. So that's about 8 ounces is a cup. So that'd be like 2 cups. All right. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to take this, because it's kind of gotten hot, and I'm going to pour that over in there. And I haven't salted it, so I am going to put this salt in there. So I'm just going to put probably about a half, I don't know. You saw that. How much salt was that? Okay. And I'm just going to let it cook and then let it cook a little bit. Let me move it over here because this burner is hotter, so it'll get going faster. I guess it is hotter. That one wasn't even on. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to let this come to a boil. And then what I'm going to do, so I want to taste it first because I wasn't sure how this cabbage was going to do. The one of the recipes I saw called for cauliflower, but I didn't have any, like I told you, so I'm using cabbage. But I want to taste it because I want to be sure my husband's going to like this before I go adding all these other ingredients. So here we go. I think so, and especially with that ham in there because he does like ham. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to add cheese and heavy cream, and so it's going to be like a creamy soup. So let me go get the cheese and I'm grabbing the heavy cream and the cheese. If I can find the heavy cream, where'd it go? Here it is. Heavy cream and cheese. All right, here we go. All right. I was on the phone with a new client. I signed up a new person today from Mineola, Texas. I don't know that I've ever heard of Mineola, Texas, but I am so excited to have her. She and I had the best conversation. She's going to be a real asset to the group, and we're going to be a real asset to her. So let me stir this up a little bit more. Definitely would be different than having cauliflower, but you know, I like cabbage and ham together, so I thought, you know, maybe that would work. Cabbage will work, I add it frequently to soups. Yes, Virginia, I like cabbage too, but it does have a different taste, but it does taste a lot like to me, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts are a lot similar. I haven't mastered the whole Brussels sprouts thing yet. I like them at certain restaurants, but I haven't really loved the ones that I've cooked. So the ones I had at a restaurant recently, they were crispy and they had a balsamic glaze on them. So I think that's what makes them good to me. Probably that glaze, because you know that glaze has some sugar in it. But okay, so that is coming to a boil. Now I don't want it to be a rolling boil when I add this heavy cream. So I'm just going to let it get, you know, good and hot. But I think I will go ahead and add the cheese. Normally I grate my own cheese, but I've been slacking a little bit lately. So I'm going to put about a cup of cheese in there. And you could use any kind of cheese. That's just good old cheddar cheese. Like I say, I don't love using this grated kind. And the reason is, that's sharp cheese, is because it's going to have an anti-caking potato starch and tapioca starch. And that's not something I love to put in my body. Hey, Peggy. Hey, Claire. Hey, Marianne. Another Peggy. A Barb. A Cheryl. A Mary Louise. Let's see. Virginia, thank you for that comment. Okay, put in the comments where you're watching from. Karen again. And there's my friend Lynn, all the way from California. Yes. Okay, so thank y'all for joining me. So this is going to melt up. That cheese is going to melt. So I'm going to let it do that. Let me get a bowl over here so I can taste it. And a soup dipper. I think I just stuck that. Where's my soup dipper? I'll just use a big spoon. My brother gave me these spoons. He used to go to, he died, and I miss him so much. My brother Coogan, he was my oldest brother. He was 6 years older than me, but we had the most fun together because we loved to go to antiquing. We loved to go to nurseries. We loved to plant. We love flowers. We love fabric. We love tablecloths. Funny story. His son was going to meet him, or maybe it was his daughter-in-law was going to meet them at a yard sale. It was an estate sale. And she said, how will I know where you are? And his son said, he'll be where the tablecloths are. I thought that was funny. Isn't it funny how our kids know us so well? Yeah. All right, so let me add a little bit of heavy cream. So I'm going to add about a half a cup. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to add too much just because I want it to be creamy, but I don't want it to be too creamy. But this is a good fat that I'm adding in here. So now, honestly, in just a minute, it's going to be ready to take up. So I'm looking forward to testing it for you. What do you think? You think this is going to turn out good? I'm gonna give it a good hope and prayer that it's good, because I don't want to waste all these ingredients. But I love to try new things. I mean, don't you? I mean, I could have just made cabbage and ham mixed up together, but I thought a soup would be good, and if I added some onion and garlic and broth and, blended up the cabbage really good, chopped it up really fine, then, it may be good. So here we go. The only other thing I thought about adding was some cumin, because I do love cumin. So I'm going to taste a little bit. If it's a little bit bland, my husband loves cumin, I may try adding the cumin to it. So that's how you make recipes. That's how recipes are invented. If I wasn't trying to keep my carbs low, I would add black-eyed peas to this. Ham, cabbage, and black-eyed peas, you can't beat that. And maybe even some Rotel tomatoes. But I'm going to leave it at this right now. I see somebody's hitting the love button. Yeah, we can. All right, so let me spoon up some and just see what we got here. Okay, and I'll let that keep cooking. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okie dokie. Now, if I had not burned that, well, I won't say burned. I didn't burn it. If I had not let that burner get so hot, it wouldn't have browned that cabbage, and it would have looked different. But let's just say different. I won't say better. It would have looked different. All right, so here we go. I'm going to let this cool a minute. And because of my tremoring in my hands, which I did have some caffeine this morning. I don't usually, but I'm gonna hold my finger on this, okay? Wow. Wow. I think he's gonna like it. I know I like it. And I don't think it needs the cumin. And here's why. The cabbage to me has a similar flavor profile as the cumin. So I'm going to leave it off and we'll see what he thinks, okay? So the lady that joined this morning, she was asking a lot of good questions. Like, well, I thought you started a challenge two weeks ago. I'm like, I start a challenge. I can start, if you're ready to start, I can start you any day. It's just you don't start with day one with the group, but that doesn't matter. You're going to get your 90 days. You're going to get all the one-on-one coaching. You're going to get all the exercises. You're not going to... I got a bad connection for some reason. But anyway, so what I'm getting to is this. You're special. You can't be like anybody else any more than my two front thumbprints can be alike. And so don't try to be like anybody else. Just be a unique version of you that's powerful. And, many people I know are praying about what do they do next. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Pray, and whatever God says is your next step. It may be to join my challenge. It may be to call a friend. It may be to write a note. It may be to visit someone in the hospital. It may be to encourage someone on Facebook. Whatever that small thing is, do that. That's your next step. Don't make it something complicated. My next step was to get over here and do this soup. That's what my next step was. So that we'd have a good supper, but also so you could try something different. So I'm going to take one more bite. You know how you kind of taste it and it's like, okay, was that really as good as I thought it was? Let me see. I think so. Definitely different, but I think so. I think it's something I would probably cook again. Cabbage, ham, I see the post. Excuse me. Who said that? Cabbage, ham, and black-eyed peas? I don't know. A perfect trifecta. There you go, Virginia. Yes, cabbage, ham, and black eyed peas and tomatoes go good with that too. But I'm not putting tomatoes in this, not today. So when I was growing up, that's what we would have. We would have pork chops, cabbage, slaw, black eyed peas, and cornbread. Yeah, pork chops, rice and tomatoes. We had rice and tomatoes. And sometimes sweet potatoes if they were in season. And my mom would cut them thin and fry them and sprinkle them with sugar. That was good. But that was in South Georgia. That's what we had. I don't know what y'all had wherever you were in the world, but that was one of the dishes we had, and it was one of my favorite dinners and still is to this day. I also like lima beans with it. So tell me, what was your favorite meal that your mom cooked, or that whoever was looking after you or doing the cooking prepared that you love? Just put it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. All right. So let me hear from you. Direct message me if you want to get on a call. Got on a call this morning with this new gal, and we had a really good time. You know, she told me about the tragedy in her life. She had lost 2 children, which is, I just can't fathom it. But, you know, she's doing good. She's moving forward. So, yeah, but I was able to encourage her, and I'm going to be able to encourage her for the next 90 days. It's going to be good. So let me hear from you. She's going to get stronger just like I'm going to get stronger. But y'all have a great afternoon, and let me hear from you.